Hey guys, what's going on? It's Ash here coming at you today in Clash Royale. Today I have the man, the myth, the legend, Ah Craaaap. Ah Craaaap, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great. I am doing great.
Awesome, man. I'm so happy to have you back on the channel. It's been a long time since you've been on. I forgot what deck you even shared the first time you were on. Do you remember?
It was my Double Dragon Lava Hound deck.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, we're still in the same beatdown category, but we've
hmm
switched to a Golem Double Witch deck, which I really love for a couple reasons, which I'll talk about in a second. But first, tell us a little bit. You are currently on your the pushing account here, Monfi. You are 17th right now in the world. You finished 51st last season. Very good job, man. Jeez. Or was that you on the account?
No, this was actually
Oh.
this was Guanic on Monthly. I finished 10th global on
Oh,
the
well,
account Megalite.
excuse me. Well, you're obviously one of the best players in the entire game. Before we get into this deck, this is the deck that we're going to discuss over here. I really like this deck. I like how it uses the Witch, and it uses Fire Spirits, two cards that you don't see a lot of in the meta. It also has Inferno Dragon. It's just a really cool deck, and is this your favorite deck in the game right now? I see you
Oh
talking
yeah.
about it everywhere, like Reddit, Twitter, you're everywhere with this thing.
Oh yeah. I just love playing this deck. There's so many ways to outplay your opponent. Because like right now I feel like there's so many decks where it's just like you can only do one thing, and if you get in a certain matchup you just have no chance of winning. This one, it doesn't really matter who you play, you can find a way to win. That's what I really love about it.
I really like that too. And we're going to get into all the strategy from the basics to the advanced tips, especially with this deck and substitutions, because it does have a few legendary cards. But before we do all that, you're streaming now. Since the last time I had you on, like you've become such a force in the community. And I wanted to get your take because I've had your tweets on the channel quite a few times because you always have distinct and very interesting opinions on the game. But last I heard, you're really enjoying the game right now, which is an odd thing to say right now compared to most of the pros. Is that still the case? Like, well, how do you feel about the current state of the game?
Yeah, no, I definitely love the way Clash Royale right now is. And then the metagame, at least on ladder, I really enjoy it. It's so many different decks that you can use, and I really love the way it is right now.
That's
Um,
awesome, man. It's kind of
yeah,
refreshing to hear somebody who actually loves the game right now,
yeah,
honestly.
exactly.
So yeah, I'm really happy to have you on because I think I posted this a few days ago too, that I'm loving the game more than ever too, which is crazy to say because like a lot of people seem to be kind of bummed about the game, but I'm really happy that not everybody's in that same camp as me. Tell us a little bit about your streaming and stuff like that. Like, what do you focus on mainly? Just pushing, or what do you got going on?
Yeah, basically on my stream, every once in a while I'll do GCs, but it's pretty much just me streaming top ladder. Usually I get pretty high up there, and it's always with crazy decks like this. Like I know there was like it was 2 or 3 streams ago. I got to like 68 trophies ahead of the #2 global while on stream with a separate Golem Double Witch rocket deck and stuff. So it's
Oh man, yeah,
yeah.
I saw that one too in one of the screenshots. Yeah, I love that your reputation for using, like you said, kind of off meta decks. It's really
hmm
cool. Yeah, so I need to have you on like a regular segment to keep up with what you're playing and stuff. What time do you usually stream? Because I miss you all the time. Is it late night and maybe my time, or when do you
No,
usually stream?
it's actually about 5 p.m. Eastern to about
Okay.
7 p.m. Eastern.
Okay, I gotta make sure I make it. There's no excuse, no excuse. But anyway, let's get back into this deck here. Tell us a little bit. I mean, where else to start, I guess, but the fact that it has both the Night Witch and the Witch is the first thing that kind of stands out to me about this deck. Talk a little bit about how to play both of those cards in the same deck, and talk a little bit especially about the Witch.
Okay, so I've seen a lot of tweets and stuff where it's like this card isn't viable, this card isn't viable, and I wanted to use a card that many people said it was just there was no way to use it, and one of those cards was the Witch, and so at the time I made this, it was especially where Graveyard Poison was all over, and so since Witch can survive poison and it one-shots all the skeletons, I was like, there's a way to make it work. And so that's why I put the Witch in there, and then I just kind of built around that. And I really love both of the Witches behind a Golem,
Mhm.
because if you can those two together, if you can, the best push with this deck is Golem, double Witch, and then Tornado everything to them. Because you got the splash with the Witch, and then you have just the strength with the Night Witch.
Yeah.
And so those two together, I mean, I've seen it take out, like, because of the skeletons distracting the P.E.K.K.A, I've seen those two together take out a P.E.K.K.A without it getting more than, like, 2 shots on my Golem.
Wow.
So, yeah, I mean...
that's crazy. Tell me a little bit about... I have so many questions, because I'm playing Beatdown right now as well, and I'm kind of struggling. I'm not doing too well. Like, it's not my forte, but I'm trying a Golem deck. Not this deck, but maybe I will give it a try, but my cards aren't really high enough for ladder, for top of ladder. So even in challenges, I really want to get good, because everybody says the same thing, that like Beatdown should be one of the easiest archetypes to learn, but for whatever reason, I still find myself doing better with Hog decks and Three Musketeer decks. So I want to ask you a bunch of like basic questions about Beatdown, but I also want to cover like the rest of the cards here. So any substitutions for either Bandit or Night Witch in this deck, or Inferno Dragon?
Okay, I heard someone say that they use Lumberjack instead of the Night Witch. And I know this deck has like besides the Night Witch, it still has 3 cards that attack air. So I feel like the Lumberjack could be another good addition to this. I also feel like using the Battle Ram instead of the Night Witch could be good. So then you can also get a couple of split lane pushes, and then you don't have to start out with a Golem.
And maybe Battle Ram instead of Bandit too, even though it
Yeah,
increases
exactly.
the cost a little bit. Yeah.
Exactly. Because then you can, that actually is something that you can tank the Inferno Towers with. So I actually really love that idea.
Okay.
And then, yeah, I think those specific cards has such a an importance to the deck that it's just so hard to switch out, unfortunately.
Yeah, no, I totally get it. An Inferno Dragon, like Inferno Tower maybe, or?
Yeah, or we could do Mega Minion, because
Okay.
I know there's a lot of like E-Wizzes and stuff, so sometimes Inferno Dragon doesn't get the value that it should. And Mega Minion right now does really, really well against cards like the Night Witch and just certain cards like that, because I'm pretty sure, I'm not totally sure, but I think one shot with the Mega Minion and then all 3 Fire Spirits on the Night Witch should probably just take it out entirely. So
Yeah, I think so too. So okay, we talked about substitutions. We talked about pretty much all the cards. Talk about, and this is, I should have mentioned this at the very beginning of the video, crap, but no pun intended. But, crap. But you're actually going to do, you're 10-0 right now in a grand challenge, and you're going to do the 11th and 12th match, hopefully there's no more than 2 live matches, live for us. So I am super excited about that. But I still have some questions. Do you have any more replays that you can maybe share at all? Or
on
either account, or no? I know I'm catching you off guard here.
I can share it right now. I'll have to switch
cool.
accounts right now though.
Okay, yeah, no rush. Well, I'll start piping in with the first question as is. So what I want to know is in the first 2 minutes, I see that you're pretty aggressive with playing a Golem right off the bat, or playing the Golem in the first 2 minutes. So can you just talk about like, how much damage are you willing to take onto a tower? Are you totally willing? It seems like this is a 3-crown deck, has 3 crowns written all over it. So are you willing to just are you looking for one big push and you don't care if you lose a tower with this deck? Or is it a little bit more of an in-between than that?
I don't know. It really depends. So basically I made this deck specifically because I'm like, well, I know I'm good. I'm way too impatient sometimes.
Okay.
So this deck is a really good deck for people who are impatient, because if I go them in the front and then they spend 10 elixir, if I use a witch or something to like take care of that, even though they took my tower, I can just pretty much just bulldoze my way through their tower. And so if it gets to like a 2-tower game, I'm gonna win that every single time. So I'm totally willing to just let them take an entire tower.
Okay. So what are you looking for in a match? Like, are you, let's parcel it out this way. How much of you is focused on defending, and how much of you is focused on just getting that one monster push down?
I'd say it's just, it really just differs on like on every single game. Basically, it's whatever I have in my hand that like it pretty much just determines whether I want to play defensively or not. Because if I
Okay.
have, say, like a Golem, Night Witch, Tornado, and Bandit in my starting hand, I might just go for the like just try and go for one big push right away. But if
Okay.
I have a bunch of defensive cards, then I'm just gonna want to play safe.
Okay. And what about in the last 2 minutes? Because this is something I find myself kind of struggling on, and it's something that you would think is pretty obvious, but I knew I was going to have you on today, so I was like, I'm going to ask him this. But in double elixir time, I kind of struggle with. Sometimes I lose when I think I should win in double elixir. Uh, Maybe I'll go into double elixir time tied, and I know that I have the advantage because I have a nice heavy golem beatdown deck. But sometimes I'm not sure, honestly, whether the best move, let's just say it just gets to 1 minute in the match, or maybe to 30 seconds in the match, right? I'm not sure whether the best move is to go aggressively with my golem in the pocket or my golem on the bridge, like say I have one tower down, or if it's just to put the golem in the back still and have like a massive push to end the match. Like, how do you decide where to put the golem in overtime or in double elixir time? Excuse me.
Well, I actually do something entirely different than most people.
Okay.
I actually go for the 3 crown instead of the 2 crown,
Okay.
because the thing about this deck is that it stacks so like it's like all of my cards are really really good at defending and counter pushing.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, I'll play the golem on the side that they have to attack. Like they want to go for the 2 tower, I want to go for the 3 tower, so we go on the same lane. And so then I golem on that side, and then I defend with those cards, and then I'm able to just 3 crown them pretty regularly.
Okay, so you'll
Um,
golem in back of your king tower, way off, going for the 3 crown, and then you'll just kind of parcel out the rest of your elixir between defending a little bit and supporting the golem.
yes.
Okay, okay, cool. Let's get to the live matches.
Okay. Let me share another replay real quick,
Okay,
and then we can do the live matches right now.
okay, awesome.
Um, Here, I'll do it against a different type of log bait, and then I'll switch accounts right now.
Okay, cool. And another question too is the fact that this deck doesn't have an elixir pump. Would that also be like a viable sub in for like for one of the legendary cards, or could you
Yeah,
get by with maybe a pump instead of like Inferno Dragon or something like that?
yeah. I tried it out yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
in order to do so, but then I'm thinking that maybe you could switch it out for like Inferno Dragon, but then you would also probably switch in the Bandit for the Battle Ram. So
Okay.
you could probably, if you do one of those, I think you should probably try out both of those at the same time.
Okay. And what about the Bandit? We haven't really talked about her at all. Is the Bandit a card that? How often are you using the Bandit to push the opposite lane when you already have a push going versus just putting her as a support card behind the golem?
So if they have something like a Tombstone or an Inferno Tower, and I know that the golem is going to be drawn out, I love doing like a Night Witch on one side and then a Bandit Fire Spirit on the other side.
Okay.
Because those two, I mean, like getting that split lane pressure and stuff, it just works so well sometimes.
Yeah, talk a little bit about the different options. You already talked about the most ideal combo behind the golem is going to be both of the witches, the witch and her sister, the night witch, right? So, what are you using? Well, give us some other examples of decent pushes, like even if it involves pushing both lanes or something. Like, where do you find yourself most often pushing? Like golem on one lane, let's say, and then what are the different combinations that you can use behind him that are viable?
So if it's like early on in the match and he's just defending, like he doesn't try and like
Yeah.
base race kind of.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite one is just like a Golem Inferno Dragon push.
Okay.
Because then usually I can sneak in Fire Spirits if he has a minion horde or something, and the Inferno Dragon will just clean up everything. Especially if I like need to tornado it, because a lot of people, if they're running like Execution or NATO, they lose with a Golem deck because they stack way too much behind it and then give the Executioner NATO too much value.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I really like Golem Inferno Dragon pushes, because the Inferno Dragon just cleans up every single defensive card they have.
That's a really good tip there, because that's something that I kind of, always, I don't want to say struggle, but it's something that always is, in my mind. I'll drop a golem sometimes, and like you said, maybe the opponent will just do a really soft push on the opposite side, and maybe I'll just, defend at a positive elixir trade or something. And then I'm not sure what to do with the golem, like I don't want to absolutely unload, but at the same time, you know, I always like to know, especially in the first 2 minutes, you know, what is ideal. So I think it's valuable that you use the Inferno Dragon as your first support troop, especially if you don't know every card in your opponent's deck yet. Okay, cool. Well, I'm ready for the live match, man.
Okay.
I'm excited. I'll try not to pepper you with too many questions.
All right.
So do you average like 12 wins with this deck? Are you like a 12-win wizard?
I've actually only played this twice now. This is actually the second time with this deck. And a GC, but oh shoot.
Wow. All right.
Yeah, I know. I didn't actually expect him to go in like that.
I know, that was interesting. And this is the 11th match too. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, he did make contact for one hit there.
Yeah.
But you're not super concerned.
No, not at all. Especially since he's saying that.
Yeah, he says, wow. Sees the witch, I think. All right. So do you think this deck is viable? I mean, obviously it is. You're 10-0, and you already did well with it. But do you think it's really strong in challenges as well?
Yeah, I really do.
Cool.
The other one that I went was also 12-0. So, I mean, it
12-0, nice.
Yeah,
yeah, I'd say so. So you're 22-0 right now. Not bad. So where's your mind right now? Are you looking to get a big push behind this golem and just kill him right here?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Okay. All right.
Unfortunately, I don't have my witch in cycle. So I'm actually just gonna play it really slow.
Okay.
Okay, he wasted that Mega Minion because I think it takes it out right now. Yeah. All right, we're in a really good position. Oh my goodness, he's.
Wow. Wow. All right. Okay. Well, you know what? Something just came up that is another question that I always mean to ask. So I'm really happy this happened. But when your golem is close to dead, sometimes I notice that pro players such as yourself, they'll still like drop down a bunch of support troops, like you kind of did there. When do you think like enough is enough here, and when do you think, okay, I'm gonna go for it, or just keep supporting? For example, if your golem is just about to split up into golemites, you're still gonna support, or does it depend on the deck, or how do you figure that out?
It just depends really, because like against a deck like this where it doesn't have the greatest defensive cards. I can pretty much just like keep going whenever I want to.
Okay.
But if it has like, especially if you're facing like a log bait player, the princess is just gonna clean up so much that you don't want to keep attacking at all.
Okay. Okay.
It just depends.
Okay. So if they have, yeah. Okay. So a lot of it depends on splash damage, spells, etc. Obviously, not wanting to provide them tons of value, but the tornado's so OP. I feel like.
Oh, wow. That was actually way better than I expected.
Yeah, so, well, you use the defensive poison there. Obviously, a smart play. Do you often use defensive poison in this deck, or?
No, not usually. I just knew that he needed that tower right there, or else he loses, so there's no point in not being pretty cautious right there.
Dude, you make it look so easy. I bet that guy was like a beast. All right, cool. All right, so here we go. This is the 12th one. While you're getting into your last match here, are you? What are your thoughts on the cannon card?
On the cannon card, I actually, I hate the 2v2 challenges. Like I just don't want to deal with them.
God,
so
dude, they're tough.
Yeah, no, they're just horrible. So I actually haven't played against it. I haven't used it. I haven't done anything like that.
Okay, all right, cool. Ready when you are, man.
Yeah, no, I'm searching it.
Okay, I gotcha. Yeah, I went 10-3 was my best. I tried like 3 times, but sometimes, man, it is crazy. Like, no offense, because beginners play the game too. It's just I don't have any like animosity towards anybody by any stretch of the imagination. But sometimes you look at all 3 of the players, including your partner, and they're all at like 1,500 trophies. And you're like, oh my god, where are these people coming from? It's the free entry, I think,
Yeah, no. I was talking to Oxalate earlier, and he said that the last 4 matches that he played in the 2v2 challenge, the 3 losses he had was all because the teammate just stopped playing, like early on.
Yeah, they need to do something. Like I understand not being able to play with your friends because that could create like a really unfair to power teams. But at the same time, it's got to be tiered a little bit, I think, based on your personal best or something,
And then I'm actually in a game right now.
Yeah. Okay, I'm with you. Clark
Okay,
Kent.
and
I wonder if
yeah,
that's the Clark
no,
Kent.
he said wow, so I would assume it's the Clark Kent.
The Clark Kent Clarky. You better let Ah Craaaap win on video. Nah, I'm just joking. All right. So you started out with a golem there.
Yeah. If they pump up, I love going that side.
Okay.
Oh,
Awesome.
wow. That was really well played by him.
Well, at least you're gonna take out all his supporting troops.
Yeah.
But he pumps up. He cycles back to the pump. Oh wow!
Mm-hmm.
I like that play because with this deck, it doesn't really matter too much if the King Tower is activated, right?
Exactly.
Wow, cool. I've never seen that done before, honestly.
Yeah, I actually learned it from probably the Asian CCGS or something like that.
Oh, okay. And you saw them doing that, and like, yeah, why not? Yeah. All right, cool. Would you? Okay, so would you do that with, like, say you were playing like a giant beatdown deck? Would you do that, or is it just because of the golem?
I think just because of or I don't know. I think I would just do that. Oh, that was supposed to lock on, unfortunately.
All right, I'll shut up.
All right, perfect. It locked onto the Night Witch, so.
Nice, good defense there. That stupid bat.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so you're approaching double elixir time. He opts to pump. That was a kind of maybe a risky move here.
Mm-hmm. But he's defending this really well, and those skeletons are going to get a lot of value, so I think that was a good play by him.
Okay. So are you going to try the double witch here?
Yep.
Knowing he has, even when he has lightning in hand?
Yeah, hopefully he uses lightning right here.
Okay.
Right.
Oh,
and
nice.
Then we can, yeah.
At least he'll kill his golem, yeah.
Yes. And then that's going to be a beautiful value. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, yeah, it hit it out of the poison, but it's going to go back in, so.
Ooh, interesting. That's not a big deal, I don't think.
No, it shouldn't be.
And only 15 seconds left. Oh, boom! Sweet! So I don't want to speak too soon, but it looks like...
Yep. And this is where
you're 24-0, man. What a beast. Congrats, dude.
Yeah, thank you.
No problem. Wow, you're making me really want to play this deck, man. I don't know. I'm about to end the video right here and just go play this all night. But wow, man. This is really cool. I really like they couldn't have gone better too with the live battles. So, can you just share the replay?
Yeah.
So we can. I want to see if that's the real Clark Kent, and I want to, of course, prove that it really is the 12th match.
Oh, I don't know. Actually, I don't think so.
Oh, it's not. Yeah, I was gonna say, dude. I think unless Clark Kent left my clan,
yeah,
like
no,
he must have just known you. But yeah, okay. So it's not the real Clark Kent. But anyway, very, very good job, dude. Any shout-outs, parting words? I don't know why I'm like flabbergasted about how beast mode that deck is. But yeah, where we already heard where we can find your stream and when we can see your streams. Anything coming up in terms of events, anything like that you want to plug?
I'm a part of the Abe Plex chat thing where I already qualified and stuff. So that'll be happening in about a month. That I'm
for
really
the Ultimate
excited
Champion
for.
Cup?
Yeah.
Sweet. All right, yeah, I'll include the Plex code for that too if people want to get involved. It's a really cool event on Friday nights. The Abe Plays game is a part of, or host, I should say, with Lola Pound. So very cool. Any other shout-outs or anything like that before we let you go, man?
I wanted to at the beginning, but I can't actually think of any. So.
Oh no. Well, if you think of them, shoot me a message or something. I'll include it in the pinned comment or something.
All right. Awesome.
All right. Ah Craaaap. Thank you so much for coming on, man. Always a pleasure.
Yeah. I'm so happy that you brought me on the channel.
Awesome, dude. Okay, guys, that's going to do it. Another huge shout out to Ah Craaaap for coming on the channel. Really good player, obviously. Had a really good time with him on. Make sure you check out my YouTube partner, Bren Chong. Speaking of really good guys, you'll see his information in the description below as well. Thank you so much for watching. Really means a lot. And as always, take care, guys.